Hello, this is Janet from Back40 Speech and Language. This is an introductory video on speech sound treatment. This video provides the necessary information for parents to run a home speech program and educational assistants or child development workers to run a speech treatment with the guidance from a licensed speech language pathologist. Before going any further, the information in this video should not be used instead of or without the direction of a speech language pathologist. It is absolutely necessary to first have your child assessed by a speech language pathologist in order to determine the best speech treatment targets. It is also important that parents and educational assistants do not try and treat a sound a child is non-stimmable for or unable to produce. If a child is not able to produce an adult-like sound, please seek the help of a licensed speech language pathologist. In this video, I will be talking about 3 foundational pieces for speech treatment. First is the speech treatment hierarchy. Second is cueing levels, and third is descriptive feedback. All of these 3 pieces are central to productive speech sound treatment. First, we will briefly discuss the speech treatment hierarchy. It is a 7-stage continuum that goes from easiest for the child to produce to most difficult. You start from the bottom and work your way up. So I will show you this quickly. I also have another video on the speech treatment hierarchy, which is much more in depth, and you'll need a bit more of a foundation. Please go check out the link at the bottom of this video. So here's the speech treatment hierarchy. It goes from easiest to most difficult: isolation, syllable, word level, phrase, sentence, reading to conversation is where we want the child to master saying their sound. Okay, so this is the speech treatment hierarchy. I'll quickly show you using an app called Articulation Carnival Pro by Virtual Speech Apps. And I like this app simply because it has good words. It's really easy to track the child's data. But you can really use anything. You can also just use speech cards like these, where the target words at the bottom with a big picture, or you can have the child write the word and draw their own picture that represents that word, the target word that has their sound in it. Okay, so for this one, chair, I will start in isolation. You would just go ch until a child can produce it. Then you go to syllables, chi, cha, chew, where that ch sound is produced in syllables, and then we're going to go to the word level. So this is where I'll model. So with the speech cueing hierarchy, the child says the word chair. If they get it right, they get a plus. The next one, chat. If they get it wrong, say tat, they get an X. If they go tin, it's not a full ch, but it's not the t sound, but it's a ts, so it's in between, but still not correct. So that's one way to track, and you keep tracking. Just with a plus if it's a correct production, negative if it's incorrect, and at the end of your speech treatment session, I want you to tally it up, and if the child reaches 80% accuracy, the next day when you start treatment, move on to the phrase level. And if they don't reach 80% accuracy, you stay at that level. That's with all the all the speech hierarchy levels. You only move on once the child meets 80% accuracy. So then the next, after words, it goes to phrases. So the child would now have to use a little bit more language with it. Let's chat. So there's words with that sentence, and the child would say let's chat, correct, incorrect, however they produced it. Like I said, you can just use a pen and paper to track your data as well, with just plus and minuses. And that's the speech cueing hierarchy. That's the first foundational piece of speech treatment. Second are cueing levels. Cueing levels are used for teaching and can make the child's production easier or harder. For example, I will use the word level from the speech treatment hierarchy, previously explained with the ch sound, to explain a direct model and indirect model with and without a visual phonics cue, along with the spontaneous production. So I'll start with the easiest thing for the child to produce at the word level. Go back to the word level. Okay, so this is the easiest. A direct model is when the adult says, okay, the word, and then the child repeats it right after. So they would say something like, I'm going to say the word, I want you to repeat what I say. Child. And the child would repeat it. So that's direct model. Indirect model is when the adult says it but uses more language around it and the child doesn't immediately copy. So an adult would say something like, the mom is kissing the child. Who is the mom kissing? And then the child would say child, so the adult actually elicits it, but the child's not copying. So there's more language influence, making it a little bit more difficult. And then the third cue would just be spontaneous. The child just labels the picture. Who's mom kissing? And the child would say child. So that's direct when you copy, indirect when you elicit it from the child, and then spontaneous when the child just says it without any adult models. And the last part I want to talk about are the visual phonics cues, and this is something that really helps kids learn, is seeing the sound. So visual phonics cue is just a body movement. There are set ones that feature different parts of the sound that you can use, and I have a video on visual phonics cues, the visual phonics cues that I use, or movements that allow the child to see the sound. So for the CH, I usually use a train horn, so then they see the sound as you're saying it. So for a direct model, I would say something like, mom kissed the child. Or I'd say, sorry, that's for an indirect, but for direct model, the adult would just say child, and then the child would copy them. So the visual phonics cue just allows the child to see the sound and hear it, what they need to focus on. Indirect model is when the adult could say something where they elicit it. Oh look, mom kissed the child. Who did mom kiss? But you're still pairing that the visual phonics with the movement. Okay? So that is your cueing hierarchy. Direct model, indirect model, and spontaneous. And you can do a visual phonics cues with actually any of them. All right. And then the third thing we're going to talk about is the last foundational piece is descriptive feedback. I find this to be the most important and oftentimes the most difficult for parents or other adults to do with the child. So with descriptive feedback, it does not matter what speech hierarchy level you are on, word, phrase, sentence, or what cueing level you are using, direct or indirect model. The adult always needs to give descriptive feedback, because it's what promotes learning and generalization. Descriptive feedback tells the child what specifically you liked about their production, what you would like them to focus on for their next production, or how they can repair their production. For example, we're going to use the app again for descriptive feedback. I like to go to 1-to-1 ratio. So if the child says tear for chair, all you would say is, hey, get your big round lips when you say your CH sound, chair. Okay, so you gave them descriptive feedback. You didn't say, nice try, or good work, or something that doesn't give them something to focus on for the next sound. So with descriptive feedback, you kind of want to just do a drill and kill. So I want you to say this word 5 times, and then we're going to play a game. So let them focus on speech and then get the reward later. Really try to avoid that social praise as the reward, because kids burn out from it. If you're always saying, good job, nice try, you're working hard, the odd time it works well and it gives the child some social feedback and they want to work hard for you, but if you're always steadily doing that, you're not helping them make the speech activity any easier. So really try to focus on the descriptive feedback, and then keep the reward or the praise second, and keep it with the game. So speech activities first and then the game, and after the speech activity, after you do the 5, say, you worked hard, let's play the game, right? That's that nice social reinforcement. Anyway, so descriptive feedback 5 times. So the child says, chair for chair. Hey, I liked your CH sound. Awesome. Let's do one again. Chair, and they say this time, chair. Oh, get your tongue further back. You need to make a good chair. Or if they said chair perfectly, great CH. Maybe they said chair. Oh, get your big round lips and go chair. Okay, focus on the next one. So each time they say it, they get one finger goes down, and each time you give them something else to focus on, or you tell them what they did right about their sound. Hey, I liked your big round lips when you produced it. So that's descriptive feedback. Yeah, and that's the third piece. So now we went over all 3 of the pieces. We went over speech treatment, hierarchy, which there's a secondary video on if you want to check the link below. We went over cueing levels, which I provided another link below to the visual phonics cues. And thirdly is the descriptive feedback. and those 3 pieces will be great. Those 3 pieces will give you a good foundation for starting speech treatment at home or with a child. All right, thank you. And if you're interested in more speech sound disorder or language treatment, please check out my YouTube channel and see the links below. Thank you.